This video, I'm going to be sharing with you a meditation that will help you connect with your spirit guides. By the end of this meditation, I believe you will feel more connected with that part of yourself than ever before. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some new ideas when it comes to spirit guides, understanding them at a deeper level. And as I've been doing with these videos, it's going to be the first 10 minutes are going to be the awareness part of it, of understanding it in a new way and how we can relate to it and use these like practical tools to really transform our life. And then the last half of it is going to be that of a guided meditation for wiring these ideas in, and then with the intention that the meditation helps you to connect with your spirit guides. Now, first off, let me say that with spirit guides in general, I have a little bit of a different view than maybe you've normally heard. And that has to do with understanding who we are as spiritual beings. Now, normally, the way we stereotypically think about the idea of spirit guides is we think, this is who I am, and then what I do is I have these guides that are always there that are telling me different ideas. And this could very well be the case. However, at a deeper level, I believe that at least some of our spirit guides are that of parallel incarnations of our same soul. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean is that the only moment that really exists is this moment right now. This is what quantum physics shows us. This is how we've been looking at it from the point of understanding quantum mechanics, of that the only moment that exists is the present moment. Think of it like we've never actually experienced the past, because when it was the past, it was this moment right now, and we will never actually experience the future, because by the time the future gets here, it'll still be this moment right now. It's simply that we are moving through different viewpoints of the same now moment, and because we have memory, we are able to link in that of this type of movement. Now, of course, the experience of it is real, but other than that, it has to do with understanding this fundamental idea, because then what we think of as our past lives are more so parallel incarnations of us. We are just connecting to that part of ourselves because it is relevant for some type of purpose. Maybe that purpose is learning more about who we are. Maybe that purpose is knowing something a little bit deeper about ourselves and it's relevant for that moment. And in the same way, there's a possibility that when we connect to the idea of our future, there's also future selves of us. But we normally would think of it as just somebody from that time period. But they all exist now. It's simply we are reaching in these different streams in the present moment based on what is relevant. So many times when you go and you may think, oh, this is this type of person as a spirit guide, I'm not saying that that can't be real. I'm just saying that in a lot of times that just may be that with the way that our mind interprets the information. Because the information will always come in alignment with our belief system. So sometimes we may have certain ways that we think they're going to look, or certain names they're going to have. However, I believe that in the higher dimensional realms of consciousness, it may not be necessary to have names. There may be more communication that's not even used with words, but we use words in our own language, therefore that's the way that we interpret the information. But what if your guides, which may be also different versions of you, what if those guides are also communicating with that of images, pictures, metaphors, symbolism, meaning, synchronicity that happens in your life? What I mean by this is when we start to look at it from a little bit new point of view and we start to expand the way we think about it, we may find that we start to get new insights because we're not limiting ourselves to thinking we have to be sitting there thinking to ourselves, spirit guide, this name, what can you tell me? Instead, let's understand that there could be different ways of digesting that same information. Maybe you're sitting there, you're connecting to a deeper part of yourself. You're centered in your heart space, which I'm going to show you a technique for doing so that expands your energy field. That then what you do is by doing that, you then get some type of picture in your mind. You then get an urge to go do something specific. What if it was more of a feeling that your spirit guides were connecting with you with? So it's about having that kind of understanding and knowing that we can expand our awareness about the whole idea in general and not limit ourselves based on the prior conception of how we think it has to be, thinking that it has to be something where we get a name. And I think in a lot of times in the higher dimensions, they're like, okay, he wants a name. My name is this name, Joe or something like that. And not that that can't be a real experience, but I'm saying is that's only a lot of times used because that makes us feel more comfortable. But in the higher realms of existence, which I believe every night when we go to bed, we wake up in that kind of existence, in that kind of consciousness. But when we come back here to this limited expression through our own body, interpreting what we do through our senses, we're limited to those things, to these five senses and to the mind that we are using. But this is the thing, it may not be relevant for us to know exactly everything that we're doing in the higher realms of consciousness. Because my guess is that in the higher realms of consciousness, when you go to bed every night, you are also existing in an unconditional love state. You have the access to so many more emotions than you do right now, and much more likely more positive emotions as well. And the thing is if you were to know that, wake up here and then kind of feel and look around and see like the 3D reality and see all this duality and all this pain and suffering, you may not really want to be here because you'd be remembering all of those amazing things that you could experience when you go to bed at night. But nonetheless, in a way, we may shield it from our own consciousness, but at a deeper level, I believe that right now on the planet, it's the time where we're becoming more and more aware of these ideas, becoming more and more aware of expanding our scope of perception around that, of who we are and how we can loosen up our grip on reality and the way we see it. Because I believe that at the fundamental core, we are immortal spiritual beings having very temporary human experiences. That the more we become aware of who we are, the more we can start to expand our perception and realize that a lot of the spirit guides that we have are actually parallel incarnations of us that are reaching to us with guidance, reaching to us for information. In the same way that they may be giving us information, we may be giving them information about our current life, because there's always a ripple effect throughout all the different timelines. So as we change in the present moment, we are also changing the probable pasts that we connect to, as well as the probable futures. So this is an idea that I know is a little bit different, a little more esoteric than maybe you've heard before. But nonetheless, I find it powerful because it allows us to expand the way that we digest the information from that of our spirit guides. Because normally we think we need to hear a name, we need to hear something. But use more than just the one sense. There's times that I was walking last night, and there was a metaphor that came into my mind. What was the metaphor? The metaphor was, I don't remember. There was some metaphor in my mind, something I was intending to work through or to figure out, like problem solving. You know what it was? It was something to do with, it was like this random metaphor that had to do with awakening. When I think of awakening, you know how you may awaken to more of who you are? Right now on the planet, it seems like there's a lot of people that are waking up. And there's a lot of people that are coming into the spiritual awakening very excited. But here's the thing with awakening. I got this metaphor because when people are awakening, what happens is it can be a very fun thing. It could be a very empowering thing. But some people still want to stay asleep, and there's nothing wrong with that. But some people will get mad at the alarm clock. The alarm clock is the awareness. The alarm clock is the time on the planet that's kind of like there's an alarm clock going off right now and more people are waking up. And even though the spiritual awakening may be a very positive thing, some people don't like to hear the alarm clock in the morning. Some people give it a negative association. They're not really excited about maybe what they're doing, so they don't like the alarm clock. In the same way, when people are going through a spiritual awakening, they may not actually like that of waking up because it may be also bringing up some stuff that they don't want to deal with. But the thing is when we deal with it, we let go of it, and it's a very expansive time. So that was kind of my analogy of when I was walking around. It was kind of giving me this is kind of what happens, and it really made me detach from the outcome. But you see what I mean? That could be a way that my spirit guides were communicating with me. But remember, spirit guides, I'm not going to limit it to thinking that it's like some type of way picture in my mind of what it is with some type of name, which it could be. Maybe that makes us feel comfortable. There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong here. I'm not saying one's true, one's not true. I'm saying let's expand our awareness and open up to even more than we priorly thought, rather than thinking it's just from one thing, from one time stream, or one person with one name. We can open it up to a much more expanded viewpoint. So what we're going to do in today's meditation is we're going to learn to connect with our heart center in a completely new way, and then to connect with our intuition, to see and to feel it from a totally new perspective, rather than thinking it has to be some visual sight that we see in front of us or some hearing that's very clear. We can open up to all the different senses and we can see what is brought through. We can see what our intuition wants us to know about this whole understanding of spirit guides, and we can see how we can individually connect to it in a very powerful way. So I do believe that this meditation will help you to connect to your spirit guides in a very powerful way, and that through going through this meditation, you may actually expand your awareness and start to relate to your spirit guides in a deeper, more fulfilling way, because it's void of the limitations that we may priorly put on the situation. So what I encourage you to do right now is to take a deep breath in, deep breath out with me. We're going to put our hands over our heart like this, because when we put our hands over our heart, it is growing the electromagnetic energy of our body. This is something the Heart Math Institute has shown. We're also creating what is called more head and heart coherence, which allows us to connect to ourselves at a very deep level. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in, deep breath out right now. Breathe it out and put your hands over your hearts and begin to feel the energy inside of your heart. And know that the more you put your awareness here, the more the energy grows. Now let's take another deep breath in, deep breath out. With every breath you take, feel yourself going deeper and deeper into relaxation. And I invite you now to close your eyes and to feel yourself going deeper and deeper, feeling more loose, more relaxed, and knowing that as you go throughout this process, you're going to feel more connected to the core of who you are. Now set the intention that in this meditation you connect to that of your spirit guides in whatever form is comfortable for you. Also expanding your perception of what that could be. Leave that door open as something that can happen. I'll take another deep breath in and out. As you breathe out, feel your body relax more and more. Now imagine in front of you is a box. It's like a trunk. A big trunk, and it has a heavy door on the top of it. Now open up this heavy door trunk, and in it put any of your worries, any of the emotions that don't serve, anything that you're consistently thinking about that's something you want to let go of. And imagine yourself putting all of these thoughts inside of this trunk. Put everything in there and then close the top of this heavy trunk. And now turn away from the trunk. You will not need those emotions in this exercise and connecting with your spirit guides. Now imagine yourself in a very peaceful environment. This could be in a forest or at a beach. This could be in a room that's very comfortable for you. Whatever you prefer, imagine yourself in a very relaxing place, a place that represents calm, relaxation to you, and immerse yourself in this environment. Now pay attention to what you can see in this environment. What is the environment like? Are you inside or outside? Is the sun out? Imagine the colors that you see becoming brighter and brighter. What kind of sounds do you hear? Imagine those sounds becoming louder and louder. How does it feel to be here? Now imagine the feeling in your heart becoming more and more powerful. Now imagine in front of you, right now, that you see a chair off 10 feet away. And decide now that what you're going to go do is you're going to go over to this chair. Now take 5 more steps to this chair. We're only a few feet away. And with every step we take, we're going to feel more relaxed. We're going to feel more connected to our heart. And we're going to simply know that we are going to connect with our spirit guides. So I'm going to count down from 5 to 1 now. And with every number I count down, you're going to feel more connected to your heart, more connected to this guidance. Take a step. 5. Feel yourself becoming more relaxed. 4. Feeling double relaxation throughout your body. 3. Feeling clarity of this guidance, feeling a connection inside of your heart center. 2, almost to the chair now. 1, now you are in front of the chair. And on this chair, it is marked the connection to your spirit guides. Now, of course, you always have a connection to your spirit guides, but in this chair, you become more consciously aware of those connections. You become more consciously aware of any guidance that these spirit guides may have for you. And what we are now going to do is we are now going to sit in this chair. So turn around, sit in this chair, notice how comfortable it feels. And notice that as you sit in this chair, you then see in front of you 3 beings appear. 3 different energy fields, 3 different beings that are your spirit guides. You may have more, but these are 3 that you are connecting to right now. Now ask for one of the spirit guides to come forward. And ask for any information that spirit guide wants to give you about who they are, whether they are a past or future incarnation, whether they are and who they are in general, and ask for any guidance from this spirit guides of anything you should know. Now feel this connection in your heart. And now your spirit guide lets you know that your spirit guide will always be with you, always has been. And imagine now that spirit guide going into a ball of energy, shrinking into a powerful ball of energy, and then going into your heart center, which is where the connection will always be. Now imagine the second spirit guide coming forth now, and ask for any clarity about this guide. Pay attention to any way the information can come, through symbols, through a picture in your mind, through a sound. Pay attention to what this spirit guide wants to tell you. Now set the intention that you stay connected. Anytime you want to connect to the spirit guide, you simply put the awareness inside of your heart. And imagine now that spirit guide going into a ball of energy and then going directly into your heart center. Feeling this love and knowing that you are always connected. Now imagine the third spirit guide coming forward now, and ask for any guidance, ask for any information about this guide, and see what information comes through. Open yourself up to any way the information wants to come. Now imagine the spirit guide going to a very powerful ball of energy, and then feel that ball of energy go into your heart center, knowing that you will always have the connection to your spirit guides. You will remain with that guidance, and you will feel more connected than ever before. Now thank your spirit guides. And now we are going to become more aware to the moment. By the end of the day today, you are going to notice some type of sign, some type of communication from your spirit guides that wires all of this in. It could be synchronicity. It could be anything. Be open to how it happens. Now I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, and with every number I count, you're going to feel more alert, present to the moment, knowing you're going to have an amazing day today. 5, feel yourself now becoming more alert. 4, feel the energy inside of your body. 3, begin to wiggle around now. Wiggle your toes, move around. 2, 1. Now you can open up your eyes and know that you have now connected to this part of yourself, to this connection that you've always had in a very deep level. This is something that I recommend you listen to for 21 days, because that's the amount of time that we can really wire these ideas in and make it something that then stays with us for a very long period. So that's what I encourage you to do, is to listen to this as much as you feel fit, but for at least 21 days to really wire it in. Other than that, I'm going to be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you want to be a part of live meditations, if you want to ask me questions, you can go and follow me on Instagram as well. And I also have a guided meditation that will help you to raise your vibrational set point. This is a meditation that you can download for absolutely free. It's going to be in the top of the description box below, and it will help you to raise your vibration so that you are able to perceive of more of this kind of information. It makes it even easier for you to do it from within. So I'm in the top of the description box for you as well. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.